It was the year 1918. Germany had lost the Great War, the First World War. The once mighty empire lay broken, its soldiers humiliated, its people starving, its pride shattered. From the ashes of defeat, a man would rise. A man who promised to restore Germany's honor, but instead would lead the world into its darkest hour. This is the story of Adolf Hitler, the man who changed history and plunged humanity into chaos. When World War I ended, the German people felt betrayed. The Treaty of Versailles forced Germany to pay huge reparations, give up land, and accept full blame for the war. The economy collapsed. Money lost its value. People carried baskets full of notes just to buy bread. Desperation turned to anger, and anger needed a voice. In the beer halls of Munich, that voice appeared. A short, intense man with piercing eyes, speaking words that burned through the hearts of the broken. His name, Adolf Hitler. He spoke of betrayal, of lost glory, of enemies within and abroad. That he told the Germans they were not defeated, they were stabbed in the back. People listened, they cheered, because in their misery, his words felt like hope. The 1920s were a time of chaos. Inflation destroyed savings, jobs disappeared, but Hitler offered certainty, a dream of a new, powerful Germany. He joined the small National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. With fiery speeches and endless propaganda, the movement grew. The brown uniformed stormtroopers filled the streets, chanting, marching, intimidating. In 1923, Hitler tried to seize power. The beer hall putsch. It failed. He was arrested. But even in prison, his legend grew. Behind bars, he wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle. In that book, he revealed his vision. A world where Germany would rule, where a pure race would rise above others, and where he would be the one to lead it. By 1933, the world was changing again. The Great Depression destroyed economies worldwide. Factories closed, hunger spread, and fear returned. And once again, fear gave Hitler power. In January 1933, Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Legally, the crowds cheered, the Nazi flags filled the sky. They thought he was the savior. But within months, Germany was no longer free. The press was silenced. Opposition leaders were jailed or killed. Children joined the Hitler Youth, learning to love the Führer more than their own families, and the swastika became the symbol of destiny. Hitler began rebuilding Germany. Factories reopened, roads were built, armies trained in secret. The world watched, nervous but silent. They remembered the horrors of the last war and hoped this was just German pride returning. But Hitler's ambitions were far greater. He wanted more than pride. He wanted empire. He took Austria, claiming it was joining the fatherland. He seized Czechoslovakia, promising peace after each conquest, and every time, the world believed him. Until September 1st, 1939, when German tanks rolled into Poland and the Second World War began. The first years of the war were victories. France fell in weeks. Britain stood alone, bombed night after night, but refused to surrender. Meanwhile, Hitler turned east toward the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa. It was his greatest gamble, and it would cost him everything. As German troops marched into Russia, winter, resistance, and time turned against them. Stalingrad, an entire German army was destroyed, and the myth of Hitler's invincibility began to die. But even as the war turned, Hitler refused to stop. His obsession with control grew darker. He blamed the Jews for every failure, and under his orders, the Holocaust began, one of the most horrific crimes in human history. Millions were sent to camps. Men, women, children, all victims of hate disguised as patriotism. The war that was meant to make Germany great was destroying it instead. By 1945, Berlin was burning. Allies closed in from the west, Soviets from the east. Inside a cold, concrete bunker beneath the city, the man who once commanded millions now sat trembling, paranoid, defeated.